So today we're talking about the 1999 film, But I'm a Cheerleader, directed by Jamie Babbitt. And I don't know what to say. A comedy of sexual disorientation. Great tagline, and it's uh, it's a cult classic for a reason. I think the reason it was brought onto my radar was that a few friends of mine, I saw that a few of them logged it because they went to a screening of this film in a city near me, and they all said it was great. And then, like, I've seen the poster around, and I thought, it was like some '90s, teen rom com, but everybody loved it, and it's playing in theaters again. What? So had to check it out. And yeah, the the announcer in the trailer just being the classic '90s announcer when everything about the movie is just so campy, and it was so funny. Has there ever been a female trailer voiceover? It always sounds like the same guy, the in a world kind of guy, or like the Cinema Sins kind of guy. That's kind of how it was brought onto my radar, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't look at any trailers before, as I like to do, and so I didn't really read the log line. I kind of just glanced over it, saw people gave good reviews, and gave it a shot, and I see exactly why it's becoming a cult classic. It's an LGBTQ just iconic film from the '90s. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely better in a group setting. There's a lot of insane one-liners in this movie, just a lot of great moments, and in a group setting in a theater, I feel like this movie would be completely awesome. But yeah, I watched it by myself, but still, it was a very, very good time. Yeah, so it's very campy, and without spoiling anything first, our lead played by Natasha Lyonne, who was great. She plays Megan, and she is in fact a cheerleader, and she is doing her cheerleading. She's going hanging out with her boyfriend, who is the worst kisser of all time, but it was kind of hilarious. And then she's going about her day-to-day life, and then there's an intervention right at the beginning for her because everybody was in on it. Her parents, her boyfriend, and all of her cheerleader friends. They had this thing set up where the boyfriend drove her back home, and they were all there waiting and say, "We need to talk." And also, who was there? Oh, not that picture. This guy. RuPaul. You walk into your room, or you rock into your house. What am I saying? You walk into your house. All your friends are there, and then this guy with a straight is great shirt. RuPaul is there. He's like, "Honey, we need to sit down and talk. We think that you might be a lesbian." And she's like, "What? I have a boyfriend. I'm a cheerleader." And they're like, there's just these things. They don't add up. The boyfriend's like, "Yeah, you don't even want to kiss me." And then they're all like, "Oh, you have posters of women in your locker, not men. What's going on?" And then, so the parents are like, really concerned. They're a very Christian family. And they're like, "We got to send you off to this camp called True Directions." Is she actually lesbian? You'll have to watch the movie. But I will go into spoilers now, so I will tell you. But I think some people will be surprised how far back LGBTQ cinema actually goes. Yeah, I agree. I was like, this is made in the '90s. This is awesome. And yeah, you definitely don't see a lot of movies like this being made back then. So it was really, really great to see. And RuPaul back in the '90s just doing his thing. He was iconic even back then. So yeah, the whole movie, she goes to this camp, and the way the movie's structured is there's these different check marks, these different hurdles that they all have to cross. And those are kind of like the chapters for the film. So the very first chapter is admitting your problem. And in their case, they all sit in a circle, and they're going back to their roots. And it's like, what could have sparked this? And then so they're all in a circle, and they're like, "I am a homosexual." And they're all start crying. They're realizing that they're homosexual. And she has a big scene where she breaks down. And it's like, "Oh my gosh, I might be homosexual." And so that's the first step, admitting it. And then the next step is I don't know, maybe the next step was, finding the roots of why it happened. And there's actually a funny scene where they invited the parents back, and they're all in this circle, and they're trying to figure out why this happened. Maybe you saw this movie or something, or there's this one person who maybe sparked it. And then she's trying to figure out what happened. And at this point in the movie, she's kind of she's not for the program really. She's still trying to figure it out, but her parents there, so she wants to appease everybody. And she's like, "I think one time for like a decent amount of time, my dad didn't have a job. So, my mom had to play the typical dad role in the family. And then the professor's like, oh, so, yeah, your father was demasculated. And so you didn't have a positive male role model. And that they were like, yeah, that makes complete sense. It's like, okay. But everything on this movie is so like, it's so on the nose. It's so campy. And I think the movies to relate it to most. I mean, I think the visuals, like, it's so Barbie in a great way. It's like Dr. Seuss meets Barbie. It's like completely over the top, which is what exactly you need for the campiness in it. All the girls dress up in pink, all the guys dress up in blue. And then, so here's an example of it, of a great shot. And, yeah, so they go about their practice, practice at their normal roles as women. And they, they're doing these vacuuming. There's these like baby changing stations and everything. So, I mean, the campiness and just the entire setup, completely ridiculous, hilarious. And again, RuPaul, oh, he's my favorite character. He was so good. Him teaching all the guys to like chop wood. And then the main girl, so she's like the director of the whole place, True Direction. She has a son who she tries to get to like dress in like these really like, in like these really small shirts. I mean, I guess she doesn't get him to dress in them, but he does, and he's super masculine, and she's like, oh, go chop this wood, and he's like, this is what you have to strive to be. And then while he's just like, he has a broomstick, and he's like stroking it erotically, and like, it was great. Okay, so that being said, I think that's, yeah, the campiness, just the entire premise overall, really great, really fun, makes for a good movie. But the reason why I think it's a cult classic is because it definitely does have a really great emotional core. And I mean, it is a coming of age story very clearly. And yeah, so our main character, who I'm forgetting the name, Megan, I remember before even looking. She starts off butting heads with Clea Duvall's character, who is the one sitting on this chair here. You can kind of tell exactly, I mean, from this frame, like the stereotypes that they're doing. So, you have the blonde cheerleader, you have her who's kind of more edgy and doesn't want to, be around people. At first, she starts off as mean, and then you can't really see because my face here, but then this other girl, we have her there as well. And so when it starts out, Megan and Clea Duvall's character, whose name is Graham, yeah, they start off butting heads. She's like, Graham's character's like, oh yeah, she's like, yeah, I love women. And it's like, she's kind of like rebelling against the thing where Megan's character at the beginning is like trying to like, figure it out. Maybe I shouldn't be a lesbian. I don't know. But like I was saying, the reason why the movie works so well is because they eventually build a friendship. And so you have these moments in this organization where all of them are sitting together talking about things. And you really have the sense that all of them, I mean, don't really want to be there and kind of want to be who they are, but they feel like they have to, entertain it at least at some point. So a lot of the talk that they have are very like backhanded, very like subtextual, or like very obviously subtextual, where they're not trying to like, rise any suspicion, because there's a lot of tattletaling in this movie as well. So, they don't want to be outed. Like I was saying, the reason the movie works so well is because you have all this, but the quiet moments when they're actually able to openly discuss, and when they actually form a bit of trust with somebody else, and then they talk about the ridiculous situation that they're in, or they just talk about what they're feeling, it works really, really well. And so, yeah, so Megan's character and Graham's character, they start forming a relationship. And so under the instructor's nose, they're just like hanging out, being all cute together. And then, yeah, so they go to a gay bar. They sneak out of the bedroom and they go to a gay bar called the Cocksucker. And it's there where, you have the girl from, what's her face? It'll say here. The girl from Before Sunrise, Julie, where is it? Julie Deplis. And so she's there, and then Graham's character's like, hey, go dance with her, go dance with her. And she's just like hanging out. And then she starts dancing with her, but then, things get twisted. It's like on the dance floor, everybody's upset, blah, blah. They run out, blah, blah, blah. And then they have a scene together where they're talking, and then they're arguing. It's like, why are we doing this? Blah, 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 blah. And then they get mad at each other. It's like, why did you make me come here? Blah, blah. And then I think the line was, Megan was like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, just go off, do what you want. And then Graham's like, yeah, okay, I'm going to do what I want. And then, she kisses her. And then it's like those quiet moments, exactly. It's like, not a quiet moment, but it's like those solitary moments of two people together. There's even a great one later with Megan's character and then one of the guys' character who gets outcast. Then they go back to the bar, and then they're talking about just like what happened, why Megan got kicked out, and why he got kicked out, and how they actually now are deciding that they actually do want to pursue who they actually are. Wikipedia has first gay film as 1907, or so Eclipse or the Courtship of the Sun and Moon. Oh, very interesting. Oh yeah, I'll take a look. I wonder how the themes hold up, or just it'll be interesting to see how it evolves there. But yes, the Cocksucker, classic bar name. It was great. It had, chicken logo, of course. I think that's the whole movie. It was a lot of fun. Visuals were great. Visuals are crazy. Very campy, very silly. I think throughout their process and following these steps that are laid out kind of as the chapters of the movie, they were a bit repetitive at times. I feel like there was multiple montages of them doing like the same thing, of the girls cleaning, the guys like chopping wood, multiple montages, and it felt like the same song. I'm pretty sure it was a different song, but I was like, wait, didn't I just watch this scene? But alas, getting to the ending. So they're at graduation. Megan is not there. She has been kicked out because she was caught. Somebody tattletaled on her for making out with Graham. And so she's not there, but there's this graduation, and Graham's there, who the audience all knows that, she doesn't want to be there, but her parents will outcast her and not give her money or a place to live if she doesn't go along with the graduation. So she's going to do the graduation, and then so Megan teams up with that other guy who is outcast, and then they sneak around to the graduation, and their plan is to, just take them in their pickup truck. And I think the geography and just the way it all played out in the final scene was a bit silly and kind of just like roll your eyes. It's like they're just like in camo, just like very sneakily out in the open, hiding behind just a tree. And it's like they would have 100% be seen. And then it's like she runs up to the set of chairs, and she's like hiding in between the set of chairs while there's people like right in front of her and right behind her. It's like she would definitely be seen. But alas, eventually, there is a very nice moment at the end. So it's like she tells Graham, she's like, okay, come with us. Come on. You don't have to graduate. Let's go. And then Graham's like, no, I'm going to do this. And then Natasha Lyonne is the actress, character, Megan. She comes back in her cheerleader outfit, and she does like a quick little cheer. And she's like, hey, be with me. I love you. Blah, blah, blah. Does her cheerleader. Because, she's a cheerleader. If it's not evident from the title. And then that's what does it. She's like, okay. Then they run off to the pickup truck, and then they go away, live happily ever after, hopefully. You never know. Yeah, I think that just like the geography of it out in the open, it just felt a little cheap. But again, the cheerleader moment was quite nice. And yeah, again, their relationship was great. I think, again, heart of the film, quiet moments was really, really good. But overall, it's just a fun time. It really is. Again, I was saying that watching this in a group setting would probably be ideal. But still, a good time. I think I feel like this is the type of movie. I was reading a few Letterboxd comments. This would have been an important movie for a lot of people, probably. I mean, back in the 90s, this was made in 99. This could definitely have been an important movie for people to see in their own, coming of age and all that. So I'm glad that it was made. Really good time. Glad that I watched it. RuPaul, the GOAT. What a great shirt. I feel like there's always like shirts in movies that you're like, oh, that would be a great shirt to have. It's like, that would be a great shirt to have, but like nobody would really know it's being ironic. But still, that's a good Halloween costume maybe. But yeah, it was a great movie. Really, really enjoyed it. A lot of fun.